Hey guys, welcome to another topic of discussion today, that is ASA standards for basic anesthesia monitoring. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe my channel, and if you like my videos, please put the thumbs up button so that it will motivate me for doing more videos, guys. Okay, so ASA standard for basic monitoring was actually developed by Committee on Standard and Practice Parameters. This committee has developed the ASA, American Society of Anesthesiologists, standards for basic anesthesia monitoring, and it was last affirmed on December 13, 2020. So guys, these ASA standards have been applied to all your general anesthesia patient, local anesthesia patient, and MAC, monitored anesthesia care. All this, in all these conditions, this basic anesthesia standard monitoring should be carried out. Okay, in order to give a better quality of care to the patient and better safety features of anesthesia, one of the safety feature of the anesthesia, and so that the patient care and quality has been given the post-op period was good. Okay, and this includes this care is not intended for application of the obstetric patient who is in labor or in the context of pain management. In these two conditions, the care is actually not intended as per ASA standard, but even though the basic monitoring care can be carried out in these conditions. Okay, next we are coming to the ASA standard 1. So what is ASA standard 1? ASA standard 1 says that qualified anesthesia personnel should be present continuously throughout the procedure. Qualified anesthesia personnel, the person who got degree with this MD or degree or completed, qualified anesthesia personnel should be present continuously through either it is general anesthesia, local anesthesia, MAC, whichever the procedure, the person should present, because this anesthesia, the procedures will causes rapid changes in the hemodynamics in the patient. So the personnel should be present to avoid complications during the intraoperative period. And another one exception to the ASA one is, suppose if some in the room some radiation hazard is there, because some MRI room, CT room, MRI room, if any CT room if you are going and radiation hazard is there actually, then the person can do intermittent monitoring of the patient. Intermittent monitoring with the that means intermittent monitoring means we can stay outside the radio hazard room. Meanwhile, the pulse oximetry, the monitors have been attached to the patient, and outside monitor should be available on the outside room. We will be evaluating the patient with the vitals in the monitor. Okay, or else another situation is, because suppose you are posted in some emergency duty and you got one peripheral call for intubation or something. Okay, so that time the intubation is most needed compared to the you have given anesthesia, general anesthesia to the one patient, and another intubation call from peripheral call has come. So the anesthesiologist have to decide which is most emergency. Either this general anesthesia, you have to consider the patient, any comorbidities is there, or any cardiac issues or anything high risk is there, anything you have to consider this, or intubation, whichever is actually more priority basis. Then the anesthesiologist can leave if he considers that intubation is more important, then he can leave the place. Meanwhile, he can put for temporary purpose the person who is able to handle the situation. He can choose the person, and he can put as a second person in the area for that general anesthesia patient in that conditions. Okay, or else remaining all of the conditions, the primary anesthesiologist should be present in the case whichever it is. Okay, next is actually ASA standard 2. So ASA standard 2 is actually includes 4 components, which involves continual measurements of 4 components. Okay, so what are the 4 components? Oxygenation, number 1. Number 1 is oxygenation, ventilation. Number 3 is circulation, and number 4 is temperature monitoring. All should be continually measured. So next definition, next we have been in what is continual and what is continuous, because I mentioned here continual measurement of the 4 components. Continual is actually, for example I am giving so that you can understand better. Continuous is throughout the procedure you will be monitoring the vitals, like your SpO2 or ECG with the heart rate, ECG, that is continuous. Without any interruption at any time, it should be continuously recorded throughout the intraoperative period. Whereas continual is repeated, it is repeated regular basis, regular intervals. That means every 5 minutes means 5 minutes interval, 5 minutes interval. So it is repeated regularly at a succeeding intervals. Okay, with 5 minutes duration, that interval it is repeated. That means continual monitoring of this of the parameters. Okay, so first we will be discussing the oxygenation part. Oxygenation part, what is saying is, the patient, all patients receiving general anesthesia should have adequate oxygenation. That means adequate oxygenation means adequate oxygenation in inspired gas and blood oxygenation. So the anesthesiologist should ensure the patient is getting adequate oxygenation in the inspired gas and blood oxygenation. So how you can assure that? You can assure that with the help of two things. Number one, that is you can measure the with the help of gas analyzer in the inspired gas. You can measure the oxygen concentration. You can see here the FiO2 concentration. We go FiO2, that is inspired oxygen concentration. You can see inspired gas concentration. You can see in the monitor. Meanwhile, lower oxygen alarm limit also should be set. It is one of the safety features. Limit. Suppose if the FiO2 falls below that particular limit, then it will be giving an alarm to you, so that you can see whether the cylinder is getting emptied or there is some interruption in the central power line supply, so that you can take emergency action accordingly. Okay, so the inspired gas concentration to the gas analyzer, lower oxygen O2 alarm limit. This is actually one thing. Another blood oxygenation I told. This is for oxygenation the inspired gas. You can able to achieve monitor with that. Blood oxygen, how will you monitor? With the help of pulse oximetry. It is by quantitative method. It will give a plethysmographic waveforms, together with it will give approximate values. So qualitatively it will give the reading of the SpO2. So that qualitative oxygen monitoring together with lower O2 limit and fraction of oxygen in the inspired gas. This is oxygenation component of monitoring. Okay, so first part completed. Next we will be going the ventilation component. The ventilation component also, when you are dealing with ventilation, you have to ensure every patient who is using general anesthesia adequate ventilation, either during that period of ventilation. Okay, so what are the things of you will be having ventilation? Some of the qualitative and quantitative signs are there actually. So qualitative signs, what are the things you can see? Like patient, you will be having, there should be continual monitoring of your chest exertion. Chest exertion means chest movement, you can see. Then reservoir bag movement. You can able to see, visualize. Then you can confirm it with auscultation or breath sounds. You can confirm. And then whenever the tube, LMA or anything in position, continual monitoring, either they are advising continual or continuous also is fine. Continual monitoring of end-tidal carbon dioxide concentration, either by capnometer or capnometry, continual with alarm limit. The alarm limit which is kept should be ETCO to alarm limit also should be higher side, so that the person, if he stays outside the OT also can, and the anesthesia care provider can able to hear the limit and the alarm and can respond adequately. Okay, so next is continual ETCO2 monitoring we have written. Then a device, suppose if disconnection, if ventilator we are connected and disconnection is there, then there will be alarm limit will be coming. So alarm limit should be set in the ventilator also. If any disconnection is there, it will be giving an alarm accordingly. Okay, so these are the ventilatory components, some of the things. Chest exertion, your reservoir bag movement you have to visualize, auscultation of the breath sounds you have to see both the sides, and continual ETCO2 monitoring should be there. And if any disconnection, alarm limit should be, you can evaluate the alarm limit. Okay, this is ventilation part. Coming to the, this is only qualitative. Quantitative I mentioned, ETCO2 is a quantitative. Okay, I forgot to mention this quantitative monitoring. Okay, when the patient is under regional or local anesthesia, there you can see the qualitative signs. If the patient is not under sedation, no sedation is given, then you can see the chest exertion and chest rise, auscultation, that everything you can see with the qualitative signs. But if I have given moderate or heavy sedation, then moderate or heavy sedation you have given, then what will I do? Then continuous EtCO2 monitoring is there. You should do. You should know whether patient, when the patient is getting, whether the patient is hypoventilating, EtCO2 is building up, then you have to act accordingly. So if there is moderate or heavy sedation you are given during regional local anesthesia to the patient, then you have to continuous monitoring the EtCO2. Okay, it is recommended according to the ASA standards. So next, your ASA third component is, what is the ASA standard? Third component is circulation. So circulation, you know, there is continuous ECG monitoring should be there. ECG monitor should be attached continuously. Whenever the patient enters inside the OT, on the beginning of anesthesia, you attach the ECG monitors until the patient left the OT. The last to be removed is the. So, okay, continuous ECG monitoring should be done, and intermittent every 5 minutes. Intermittent every 5 minutes. You can, that means intermittent every 5 minutes, that is continual monitoring of heart rate and BP should be carried out. Okay, this is part circulation part. Next is actually on circulation also you can give, these are actually you can carry it out, and in addition to the above you have to see any one of the following. In addition to above, you have see any one of the following, either by palpation of pulse intermittently, or you can auscultate hot sounds intermittently. Okay, or what you can do, or pulse plethysmography, pulse oximetry. Pulse plethysmography, you can see the pulse plethysmography and observe that, or you can intra-arterial, if the put is intra-arterial BP monitor. These are in addition to the continuous ECG, heart rate, BP every 5 minutes. In addition to that, any one of the following below should be monitoring. So intra-arterial BP monitoring, all these things should be carried out. Okay, or USG also, Doppler, USG, hand movement of the blood flow you can monitor. These are the things again you can able to do. Fourth is temperature. It is wise in for every patient is in general anesthesia, their temperature should be within, the maintenance of temperature should be within normal limit during the all procedures of anesthesia. Okay, so in cases of suspected or intended to lose temperature like that in high risk patients, you can do temperature monitoring, continuous temperature monitoring. Should be done. Okay, so these are the some of the things of ASA standards of monitors. So first is we mentioned standard 1 is qualified anesthesia personnel should be present. Standard 2 is actually includes oxygenation, ventilation, circulation and temperature. In oxygenation part, your concentration in inspired gas and blood oxygenation, will be seeing the using gas analyzer and pulse oximetry SpO2. Meanwhile, expose the patient and monitor, because in pediatric cyanosis also most commonly you can see, no? Expose the adequate illumination, expose the patient to look for any cyanosis if the patient is developing. Okay, ventilation, you can see qualitative sense chest exertion, reservoir back movement and auscultation of breath sounds. Quantitative, you can see continual internal carbon dioxide concentration monitoring, and device which is in alarm limit disconnection you can able to see. Okay, when the patient is regional or in local anesthesia with no sedation, you can do qualitatively, you can see if moderate or heavy sedation, then continuous EtCO2 monitoring should be done. Circulation part, ECG and intermittent every 5 minutes heart rate and BP should be monitored. In addition to that above, any one of the following, either palpation of pulse, auscultation of heart sounds, pulse plethysmography, waveform observation, or intra-arterial BP. Addition to above, you have to see in the patient. And fourth is temperature monitoring. In suspected intended case that lose more temperature, then in that case there should be continuous temperature monitoring should be done in that case. Okay, these are some of the recommendation of the ASA basic standards of the monitoring. Okay, guys, I think I have covered most of that. If I done some mistakes, just put me in the comment box so that I will correct it in that mistake. Okay guys, and if you didn't subscribe my channel, please subscribe my channel. Thank you guys, thank you for your support guys, thank you.